Okay. Sorry, my phone is overheating. But here's the thing. The only way that people are gonna learn to leave you alone is if you hurt them in their pockets. That's the only way. If you get hurt in your pockets and you end up in the position that I am, that's the only way you're gonna learn to leave someone alone. Like, you be sitting here, right? And you be saying all this stuff and I don't even know. Like, some of you guys be complaining. No, I don't have to shut up because that's true. You didn't hurt me in my pockets. The only reason I'm not making the money I was is because I'm not doing social media like I was. And actually, TikTok took subscriptions away. Now it's super fans. Otherwise, if TikTok still had subscriptions, I'd be making money. I don't need an income to get a house. There are housing programs for people with no income. I don't know how hard that is for you to understand. You need an income. You need a house. That's what the world tells you. You don't need any of that shit. That's materialistic shit. Okay? Because the world is already getting more fucked than it is. You're going to be on the streets if you do not own a house while it's still manageable to get a house. And if I was you, I would suggest buying a house before it gets too expensive to afford shit. Because in the near future, there's going to be a lot more homeless people than you think. If you think that 9-to-5 job is going to secure you a place to live, wait till a 1-bedroom costs $3,000. Prices are only going to go up. They're not going to go down. Every president that gets into office is not going to work on fixing the living situation. You want to be stuck to that worldly shit, you can. I'm not going to be stuck to it. I'm going to try to buy a house while I can. Before I can't buy a house. And it becomes too expensive and then I can't afford to live. $1 million is chump change in today's economy. $1 trillion in 10 years is not going to be nothing. You guys really need to start the mentality of owning stuff before you can't really own stuff. Everything's going to be so expensive that you ain't even going to be able to afford to live. Go to work and you can have a place to live. Go to work, go get a job. Yeah, and then eventually you're not going to be able to afford a place to live. Even with the one job that you work. Eventually you're going to have to work 5 jobs just to afford a place to live. If I had $1 million, $1 million is not enough to survive in this economy with everything that is expensive. If you literally were to print out a budget sheet and budget how much money you're spending, think about how much that stuff is going to cost in 10 years. $1 million is nothing. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, you need to be a money hoarder. What I'm trying to say is that you need to start thinking smarter before you end up not having no place to live. People are going to be homeless. It was already stated that there's going to be mass homelessness. Like, you guys need to pay attention of what's projected in the future. Projections are not fake. When someone is telling you what the future is going to look like, they ain't lying. You can see from the economy, you can see from the finances and the way that the economy is just how bad things are going to get. We owe $1 trillion in money. Money does not exist. I keep telling you that money is not real. All these rich people, it's fake money. It's not real. Money is not real. We owe to other countries. If other countries like China and other people were to come say, give me my money, now what you gonna do? Did you look at the debt clock? Because it's up to $1 trillion. They're printing money that does not exist. Money is not real. Go off the grid. I would probably I would probably own a farm and grow my own stuff and sell my own stuff. Like, shit. Is she talking to her child like that? Nah, that's abuse. Cause what? Who does she think she's talking to like that? Did you just hear that? She called someone age-infested white bitch. And that little girl is crying saying, here, here, or something. That's abuse. If she was talking to her child like that, that's abuse. No, I ain't gonna say anything because that makes the situation worse. You just don't engage in a situation like that. It makes it worse. You should know that. Anybody should know that. And even calling, I don't understand. Here's the thing that I don't get. People calling CYFD, like if you see something happening in public, right? Do not call CYFD. I don't know why people keep calling those people. They do not care about children. I know that people want to do that, but that doesn't help children in any situation. And I'm talking about, like, you know, when people see something like, you know, I understand, like, people see children being abused. They go to the house and then the child ends up dead because CYFD has made so many home visits that, you know, it's like, how come they made all these home visits, but look, now the child's dead. But to be honest with you, they will put the child into another abusive home. So when I see stuff like that, it sucks because, like, what do you do in the situation? You can't call them. Mind you, if I call them, the child will just get taken out of one bad home and put into another, because a lot of these people that are foster parents just want to foster kids for the money, the welfare checks that they get. They abuse the system because they know if they adopt these kids or take in these kids that are from abusive homes, they put them into another abusive home because all the parents care about is the welfare check. They don't really care about adopting the kid. They just want the free food stamps. They just want the welfare checks. They just want to make money off of these children. These children are dollar signs to them, and it sucks. The system is so badly broken because, you know, growing up, right? Because I'm trying to preference this in a way that's like, this is my past life. Growing up when I was little, you know, we lived in this gated community, and this kid, he would lie on his brothers all the time. And his mom was really, really abusive. Very abusive. A drunk, abusive person. And for me, that just seeing that, because she came to our door one time, she was badly drunk. Bam, 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 bam. She wouldn't leave. And my mom told her, you need to go home. Go home, she said. She just got mad because I guess her son said we did something. I didn't do anything. You know how kids are. My brother and me, we used to be really, really into wrestling. And so did they. They were really into wrestling. So they would come over, you know, just little wrestle like wrestling, you know. Nothing too bad, you know. But, yeah. That happened. You know what I mean? Like wrestling. And so anyways, I've seen things Like this little girl, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. The parents weren't even watching this little girl. This little girl was walking across the street by herself, and you know how you've seen those people? I saw a guy that says he saw this little girl that the baby was out there by itself, a baby and this little girl, or a little child, not old enough to understand what was going on, that was gonna go into a busy intersection. When I was 3, I tried to cross a busy intersection. But anyways, because there was this restaurant called Griff's. I don't know if y'all remember Griff's if you live in Albuquerque. But there was this restaurant called Griff's, and my parents went there. And at 3, I was like, oh, let me walk to Griff's, because I thought I could take myself to Griff's because I wanted to go to Griff's. So I walked to Griff's. I tried to walk to Griff's. I was about to cross a busy intersection. And my mom caught me because she left me outside for a second because my dad called her. And there was this guy, his nickname was Fatso. And he was like, hey. And then my mom looked and she saw I was about to cross the street. And then she brought me back. But anyways, what I was going to say is that there was this little girl. And the door was wide open when I took her back. This was a gated community. But mind you, people speed through gated communities all the time. And especially that drunk lady. Yeah, she likes to fly through there. That's why she damaged her garage. It was bent because she slammed into it. But anyways, this little girl comes across the street. And I didn't know what to do at that point because I'm like, I know where she came from. I could visibly tell by where she was walking diagonal across the street, this little girl. And I took her back in the house and I said, hello. I said, hey, hello. Like, nobody answered. It was quiet. Like, and I think my brother went to a party they had one time. My brother, you should see. I'm telling you, he did not know the kid that had the party, but they would invite him. My brother got invited to everything. I was upset because I never got invited. My brother would be like, yeah, I got invited to a party. He didn't have no gifts. I'm telling you, my brother got invited to everything. He didn't even know the person and they invited him to the party. The people that threw the party would invite... He would come and he would tell my mom, I'm going to a birthday party. And my mom would be like, you don't even have a gift. And he's like, they invited me. And I'm like, bruh. It was funny. Like, that's how much they liked my brother, because he would go to all these birthday parties and he didn't even know the person. He wasn't even like a guest. They just invited him. But anyways, so I said, hello. And I took her back and I was like, well, what do I do? So I just put her inside and I closed the door because I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, the parents aren't there, And so, while they were there, but I guess they were asleep or they weren't answering because someone had to be there. Obviously, they wouldn't leave this child alone, and I know there was someone there. Like, I could tell somebody was there, but I don't know. So I put her in the house, I closed the door, and I'm walking off. And as I'm coming down to my house, there she is again, like, coming out and, like, walking. I'm like, bruh, like, where are the parents? And finally, the mom, I think it was the mom or someone finally, and I said, she's gonna get hit by a car. Like, these people have no care for their children. They shouldn't have children if they're going to watch their children. And to be honest, with everything you see with CYFD, that would have not been a good idea to call them. They don't really care. They'll put the child back into another abusive home, one that's way worse, because all the parents care about is the welfare check. Like, there's not much you can really do in that situation, When people say you see child abuse, call CYFD. Don't, because and it sucks because these are the people that people want to force to not get abortions. This is what happens when you force people to have children that don't want to have children. They take it out on their children because they never wanted to have them in the first place. Like, to tell women what to do with their bodies is mad weird. Women should be allowed to have abortions. I'm not saying that it's okay that that children should get abused or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, women should choose what they want to do with their bodies. No one should tell a woman what to do with her body. And in the same instance, it's just crazy to me. Like, and that's what someone said, because you get these women that don't want to have children and you tell them they can't have an abortion, and then they go out and you know, they harm their children. Sometimes even women that are having a pregnancy don't even go to the hospital and get a checkup, and then they trigger warning, they unalive their baby because they never wanted it. Like, this is a sad world we live in, because, you know, women should have a right, and you're forcing them. Especially, are you going to pay the bills in this economy where women can't afford that? And then what is your excuse to tell women to stop having sex? Then maybe they won't have kids? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, well then, you know, use Plan B, use contraceptives. Contraceptives are not 100% effective. They're 99.99% effective. That 1% you could literally have a baby. Even there's women that have had babies while on Plan B, or having that IUD or whatever it is in you. Yeah. Even having that inserted in them, one woman had a baby with that in them. Like, you know what I mean? I did make content. I posted a 1-minute video because I'm on the Creator Fund. Didn't you say I wasn't going to get back on there? Well, I'm back on there. But here's the thing that I want to say, because people need to use their brain, right? Abused children are always going to fend for themselves. That's what you're not understanding. Like, it does not matter, right? They're going to go from one abusive home to another. And even so, they're going to still have to learn to take care of themselves. People that come from foster homes talk about the foster stories. It ain't good. Even if people that have went to foster homes have said their foster parents never cared about them. Like, what more do you need? No, nobody said I support child abuse. You're not even understanding, so I'm not even going to explain that to you. You call CYFD, they're going to send them to another abusive home. How is that stopping child abuse? The system is broken. They don't care about children. They don't check what homes they're sending someone to. The parents could look like they're good enough parents to adopt these kids, and then what? Did you hear about the black children that were adopted to be slaves? Use your common sense. No one here is justifying child abuse, dummy. Where did I say I literally justify child abuse? They're going to send the child into another abusive home. CYFD does not care. What part of that do you not understand? A lot of these people that are foster parents are only foster parents for the welfare check, because they get paid. They could care less about the child as long as they're making money. Use your brain. Well, there's nothing about group homes. Groups homes are horrible. Group homes are the worst. Actually, they're really, really bad. Group homes allow children to be assaulted or to have things happen to the child. So even then, it doesn't matter. Even if they stay in a group home, they're still going to go to an abusive home no matter what. It's a high possibility that the child is going to go back into an abusive home. Look up the percentage. It's high. It's not low. Just look it up. All you gotta do is just do research. It's not that hard. Mind you, if CYFD cared about children, they wouldn't be wanting to take children out of good homes and put them into bad homes. There was a story of an American Idol contestant that lost her child, and she didn't even abuse her child. She was a good mother because CYFD tried to take her child for no reason. They do that all the time. And they don't even need a reason. And it's also indigenous people. Did you know that they're taking indigenous children and putting them into whitewashed homes to erase them of their culture? They're finding reasons to put children in abusive homes. They're literally taking children out of good homes and putting them in abusive homes. If you look up the research on CYFD, there is no win-win situation. No one's saying that child abuse is okay, because child abuse is not okay. You know, like I said, I grew up in a household where I was not abused. Thankfully, I never had to know child abuse. And, you know, I'm so glad my parents were good parents. But I'm sad because, you know, I've seen my friends in abusive homes. Like, I've seen this stuff. Like, there wasn't anything I could do. I'm a child myself. I was a teenager. I was a child trying to have fun. It's traumatic seeing the things that happen to kids, and, you know, you can't do anything about it. You know, they're just going to put them back into another abusive home. The system is broken, like I said. It needs to be fixed. Nobody is justifying child abuse any type of way. And you could try to say whatever. No matter what, the child is going to be in an abusive home. They do not get put into good homes. If you think that's the case, then you need to do your research. Do your research. If you believe that there is no broken system, then you're a part of the problem. Because you're saying, oh, I don't see a problem, so there is no problem. You can't think like that. That's like people that say, oh, I don't see racism, so there is no racism. I didn't face no racism, so there is no racism. Like, you really have to use your noggin. It's a broken system. That's different. Like, when your parents, and this comes from strict parents, right? When your parents say, oh, singing is not a job, you need to get a real job, like be a lawyer, that's not child abuse. That is far from child abuse. Telling your child that you want them to be in a certain career is not child abuse. That is not, I can't compare that to a child that is getting locked in a closet and being starved. I can't compare that to a child that's getting beaten for no reason just because the parent had a bad day. My dad was abused very badly. My situation is very minuscule compared to other people's situations. Yeah, we had to deal with my dad's mental illness, but I didn't get abused. And to be honest, yes, a lot of things were triggering. It was a lot of not mental abuse. Yeah, he did say some things that were not good. You know, like when people justified him calling me a fat cow. I was like 16 years old, you know. You don't tell that to your child. But again, compared to other people's stuff, and this is not, we shouldn't even be comparing anything. But to bring that up, like, I already know, like, my situation, like, I'm not comparing my situation to others. That's not okay to do because I already know what kids go through. Nobody is trying to sound woke. Well, that's what my dad said. Talking about child abuse is not being a pedophile. So if you're not talking about fixing the system, then you're supporting child abuse. Because to literally try to tell someone to start talking about children and then calling them a pedophile is weird. If you're not trying to fix the broken system, then you're weird. Why are you sexualizing child abuse? Nobody talked about sexual child abuse. Like, okay, now you're really being weird. Nobody is literally glorifying anything. Nobody was literally talking like they were excited about talking about that. You make things hella weird. This is why the system is the way it is. This is why CYFD doesn't fix their system, because people like you saying don't talk about it. Nobody accused me of child. Well, yeah, someone did accuse me of child abuse, actually. She went on a live. She accused me of child abuse. She was live at the time. She accused me and 4 other large content creators. And when I went to address her, she blocked me. How are you going to talk about me? I pull up to your live. I defend myself against your false accusations, and you block me. Then it ain't true. If it, like, how are you going to block someone you talking about them? And then when they address it, and then when they debunk it, then all of a sudden you mad and you block them. I don't got children. So what children am I abusing? I'm not even around any children. And I can be around children because I don't abuse children, I don't harm children, I don't hurt children in any capacity. There's a lot of people that can't be around children that you probably had on your platform. Everyone was platforming child abusers. I could go into it, but ain't nobody want to hear that. How are you going to lie on me? You're going to make false accusations and then block me. You weird. First of all, I can be around children. Hello, I don't have any record. I've never harmed any kids, so stop lying. Like, stop being a weirdo. Because some of you guys want to be weird. Did I harm a kitty? No, I didn't. That was not my cat. Peaches was Nicole's cat. So why don't you ask Nicole about her cat? I suggest you ask her where Peaches is. Because, you know, people try to lie. That was another thing. People found this orange cat at the shelter that they tried to say that we took to the shelter. That was not Peaches. And Nicole had custody of her cat. How are you going to lie like that? You guys can't even lie properly. Because you saw an orange cat and you saw animal control show up. And so then you said that we took the cat to the shelter. No, we didn't. Animal control showed up and my brother explained the situation. And basically they went to her because it was her cat. It was not ours. No way did I pick up a cat and toss it. In the video, it does not show me pick up a cat and toss it. Like, you like to exaggerate the story. You're the type of person that exaggerates the story and makes it bigger than what it really was. And all it really was just someone opening the door. But no, you're the type of person to tell the story as they opened the door. They started lighting everybody up. They started blasting everyone in there. And I went running out the back door and I leaped over the wall. And, you know, I ran for my life and I was running down the road, you know, and I lost a shoe. And then a lot of people were like, we was there, bro. Don't lie. Come on. Someone just opened the door, you know, and we was all chilling, hanging out, you know. And then you got up because you said you had to go home. You got work that day. And you making this whole story up. Like, come on, bro. Like, let's not lie. The video does not show me pick up a cat and toss it. What are you even talking about? Pushing a cat off your leg is not tossing the cat. If a cat's digging its nails into you and trying to eat food it's not supposed to eat, first of all, because it just had surgery. Like, some of you guys are stupid. I'm supposed to let the cat eat greasy food because you said so? Since when is it okay to feed the cat bacon? Like, let's stop lying. You want me to do what I'm not supposed to do. And then you're going to get mad and say, well, you're feeding the cat bacon. The cat was not hungry. I don't know why people keep saying that. Oh, you need to feed the cat more. We got a piece of paper and some wet cat food. We're supposed to feed it half a packet in the morning and half a packet at night. It just had surgery. We were told by a vet how to feed the cat. I am not going to do the inhumane thing because people want the cat to eat all the time. Just because a cat meows, especially a kitten, does not mean that you feed it all the time. It's just like a baby, right? Except in the sense that that's an animal and a baby is a human. Now, puppies, right? Puppies, if we're talking about kittens and puppies, they have no control whatsoever. People think that if they leave a month's worth of food when they go on vacation, the puppy is only going to eat small amounts. Your dog, you're going to come back to your puppy dead, because puppies do not know when to stop eating. They will eat the whole month's worth of food and explode, because puppies, especially kittens, do not know control when it comes to food. You do not feed someone every time they cry, especially animals. If an animal is already fed, you do not feed it when it cries. It's not like a baby. You feed it, you're going to overfeed your cat and cause your animals to have diabetes. Your cat's going to get too fat and then end up with diabetes. Some of you guys don't even know how to take care of pets. If you think a cat crying means that you're supposed to feed it, no, you're not. The cat's going to cry. The cat's going to overeat. I'm pretty sure you could feed your cat a month's worth of food and it explodes, because the cat does not know how to not eat all the food. A kitten's going to eat all the food if it's in front of it. Too much of it. Well, yeah, that's how diabetes works. Diabetes works if you overfeed your pets. And then they get too overfed, and then they end up getting diabetes. For people, that's not the same. You could get diabetes if you're skinny or not. But overfed pets, especially overweight dogs and animals, are the ones that get diabetes. That's because you overfed them. I didn't say it threw the cat. It's literally on camera. I pushed the cat. Nowhere did I say it threw the cat. So now you're trying to blame me? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You trying to justify feeding a cat because it was crying all the time did not make sense. When the cat was crying in the background, someone said you need to go feed it. No, I don't need to go feed the cat. The cat just ate. What are you even talking about? Why are you trying to tell someone to take care of a pet that they know how to take care of? It wasn't even my cat that I was supposed to be taking care of in the first place. I had to take on the responsibility because some idiot didn't want to take care of her own pet. I did not get a pet that I should not have a responsibility of a pet that was not mine. But I did anyways because I was nice enough. Can we not? Like, people. Why are you screaming? It's just a motorcycle. Jeez. Anyways, like I was saying. Like I was saying, people, when they heard the cat crying in the background, they were like, oh, the cat's crying. You gotta feed the cat. The cat's crying. You gotta feed the cat. You don't feed a kitten every time it cries. It's not like a baby. It doesn't cry when it's hungry. I didn't laugh at the cat in pain. Some of you guys need to know the way people laugh. When someone is laughing, it's not like a ha-ha laugh sometimes. It's an uncomfortable laugh. People don't laugh because they're happy all the time. People laugh in uncomfortable situations sometimes too, because people say, oh, you was laughing, you was joking, but you want to say this happened to you, but you was cracking jokes, you was doing this. No, some people react differently in situations. You got to stop telling people how to react. I don't react the same way you react. If I'm laughing, sometimes it's an uncomfortable laugh. I don't laugh when I find something funny because it's not funny. The thing is you're going at the wrong person instead of going at the other person. That girl got a whole bunch of pets that she was not going to take care of. And you're sitting here trying to tell me what I shoulda, coulda, woulda. What about her? Was anyone telling her to stop getting pets she wasn't taking care of? Why was I taking care of so many dogs that she didn't want? And the only reason why I took care of these pets is because I felt bad. She didn't have nobody to take these pets in. These poor pets needed someone to take care of them. So I'm not supposed to take care of pets. I'm supposed to just ignore them and not feed them and take care of them. Poor dogs had this person that wanted them, supposedly getting these dogs, and they're not even taking care of them. And you're letting her escape animal abuse. Let's not forget, when animal control showed up because people falsely called them about Hershey, they said they found no signs of animal abuse. And what happened? People said F you to animal control. The people in the Discord got mad and told animal control, fuck you, because they didn't find animal abuse. Do you want to know what happened when animal control showed up to her house? They told her she had to clean her room and get her room in order, or they were going to take her cats. They told her to clean her room or they were going to take her cats. And my brother was there when the situation went down. She begged my brother to help her clean her room so she wouldn't lose her cats. Her cats were using her room as a kitty litter. She was not cleaning the kitty litter, and the cats were using the restroom everywhere. When animal control showed up to my place, they said that they found no signs of animal abuse. And they clearly can tell the difference between, a dog that has, not aggression because they're being abused. They can tell the difference. They've worked with animals. They went to school to be trained to know about animals. He literally said, I'm going to take a picture of Hershey. So if someone calls, I'm going to show them that picture. He showed up. And I told him about social media, and he said, I still have to conduct my investigation to see if there's any animal abuse. Whether I told him that or not, he didn't play any favorites. He still did what he was supposed to do. He did his job. He said he didn't find any signs of animal abuse. And he then said that he was going to take a picture of Hershey so that if anybody calls animal control again, he will show them that photo. He did not play any favorites. Because I remember one time when Adult Protective Services showed up, and then people try to say, she said it was her family member. That's why she got a... No, They did their investigation, and at the end of the investigation, she revealed, after finding out who my mom was, that they were related. She did not give us any special treatment because we were relatives. She didn't even know until after the whole thing was over. To try to literally do that to get someone fired is weird. Like, let's not even go there with that one. I don't even have family that works in these places that is giving me, special treatment. I would still get the same treatment if it was a family member or not. They're not going to overlook that. My family is not like that. Like, you guys literally tried it and it didn't work. Like, you literally tried to lie, and you thought I was gonna forget about that. Like, yeah, I remember when they tried to pull that one when Adult Protective Services showed up to the house, and then I had explained how crazy it was. We found out it was a relative, and then you try to say that my relative gave me special treatment, that I said, haha, I got away with it. I never said that. Like, what is wrong with you? She found out after she conducted her search. Mind you, they sent 2 other women that wouldn't tell me who they were. They acted like they were from Adult Protective Services. I told them to identify themselves because I do have people harassing me online. You're telling me that you have to take my mom somewhere to talk to her by herself. She's hard of hearing. And you're going to take my mom's... No. And I literally, for safety, I said, who is you? So I had to call my brother to come down here Because there's no way you're going to just take my mom somewhere and say that you're going to talk to her by herself. You could show up and try to unalive my mom. I don't know what you're trying to do to my mother. You don't even identify yourself. And then you sit here and being a snobby and being rude. If you don't like the profession you're working in, then don't work in that profession. Showing up, being rude, saying that you think I'm trying to put on some sort of act versus my social media. You is stupid. You letting people abuse the system, and I think you know who I was from social media. I think it's conflict of interest. You said you had been watching my social media. That's fully conflict of interest. And if that was the case, I would have requested new people to come down, because there is no way you coming down somewhere. You're not identifying yourself. You're trying to say that you had been watching my social media before you came down. Nowhere in your job does it require you to watch someone's live stream, and then you try to say that I'm a great actor. You don't even know me. You don't know my situation. Weird. And then my brother had to come down and see what was up. And then you get mad at my mom because she can't even hear you. And you want to say whatever. She didn't even say I abused my mom. She just said she thinks I was a great actor and that I had to show up to court. I never showed up to court for that, mind you, by the way, because they knew it wasn't going to stick. You knew I had that on you. There's cameras. My mom came back and told me that she got frustrated because my mom could not hear a single thing she was saying. You took advantage of the fact that my mom was hard of hearing, and you knew that, and you treated her like shit. And this is the people that they send for adult protective services? And you treat people that are disabled like that horribly? Yeah, nah. And you didn't identify yourself. If someone asks you to identify yourself, it's not that hard to identify yourself. You don't need to get snappy with me because you saw my social media and you don't like me. I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. That literally is conflict of interest. You're not going to see if someone's harming an adult based off of your likes. That is messed up. If you already have a pre-connotation, if you already have a thought on someone, then you should not be showing up for anything. She didn't like me because she saw my social media. That's not fair. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. I call my mom a stupid bitch. Well, my mom called me a stupid bitch. So, are we just forgetting that my mom didn't call me names while I was live? And they literally told my mom that it was okay? My mom called me a stupid bitch, and I didn't even call her a stupid bitch back. She called me a stupid bitch first, and then she apologized. You know why? Because people put that online and said it was okay for her to say that. And then when she realized, because, it got recorded, then she apologized and said she shouldn't have said that. And then she told people, no, it was not okay that I said that to my daughter. Mind you, people celebrated when my brother told me to get on social media. Mind you, even in the end, before he passed away, he had no issues whatsoever with my social media. He talked to his friend and he said, so what do you think about this social media? Do you think it's a good idea? And she said, yeah, I think it's a good idea for her. And for people to try to lie and say no, he even was okay with me going live. He was okay. Whatever he said in the past, he got past that because he literally realized that social media was okay. If I didn't have my social media, that car would have not been running. And you want to sit here and talk about the past? The past is the past. He already decided that it was okay for me to be on social media. He had changed his mind after a conversation he had with his friends. I'm so sick and tired of people abusing the system. They don't care about anything that's going on. You're mad because people aren't finding stuff. That is uncalled for. If I ask you to identify yourself, identify yourself. You already see what's going on and that I'm being put in danger, and you're trying to cause me to freak out because I don't know who is taking my mom somewhere, being like, we need to talk to your mom by herself. I said she has no hearing aids. She's hard of hearing. All because they walked up. Mind you, we were in a little argument about the trash. So now you mad at me? So now you're trying to have some attitude towards me because you walked up on a little argument about trash? I wasn't even hurting my mom or anything. People have arguments. That's not abuse. Abuse is when you argue and you hit somebody, or you argue over nothing. Like, you act like if you got in an argument with your significant other, then I'm going to call Adult Protective Services on you and be like, that's abuse. That's adult abuse. Like, hello, people get in arguments all the time. Yeah, I know you just hate me. That was her. That was legit her. She just hated me, and she didn't even, like, when I ask you to identify yourself and you don't, I called my brother. I was going to call the cops. But I said, no, I don't even need to call the cops. I said, well, what do you want me to do? I told my brother, because I almost called the cops on her. Her and the other girl literally did not identify themselves. If you work for Adult Protective Services and someone says, identify yourself, you identify yourself. You don't throw no type of attitude towards me. I'm just trying to make sure my mom is safe. If you cared about my mom's safety, you would have identified yourself. You literally know that people is threatening my family online, and you try to act like you ain't see that. You see the horrible shit people say, but then you block that out because you have some sort of, like, yeah, you abusing your power, you're abusing your job, and if I prove that you have connections to these people online, then you're going to lose your job. Why would you risk your job for these trolls? They could try to use whatever, because I have a feeling that it was someone that knew them. Someone online that sent their relatives or whatever. You ain't going to tell me you didn't know that someone did not have connections online, because for her to be acting like that, nah. Just like when that guy from Adult Protective Services showed up, and my brother told him to identify himself, and it went as so far as the police to get involved. Why should the police have to get involved? All you have to do is just show your badge. Hello? People are trying to be safe. That's like someone walking around pretending to be ICE, claiming they're ICE, and then when someone says show your identification and they don't show it, that's a little suspicious. You don't have to make things difficult. Just show your identification. Show that you work for Adult Protective Services. We just trying to be safe. People were sending men from dating apps to my door. Hello? And they're the ones talking about they're trying to protect adults, but they're making it unsafe. You don't have to go all that extra. The police did not have to get involved. All you had to do is show your identification. You make it a lot harder than it has to be. I didn't abuse my mom, so you could try to make that claim all you want. I didn't abuse my mom. They didn't find no signs of abuse in any situation. And the lady that was being snobby didn't find any signs of abuse. Once my brother showed up, she knew what it was. Why do you think she didn't claim abuse? Oh, now that my brother shows up, now you want to back down. Now you're not acting as tough. Why are you trying to fight me? And I came at her with respect. And then she wants to talk to me some type of way, so I'm going to talk to you some type of way and match your energy. There is no way, no reason for her to be coming over here and talking to me any type of way like that. I come at you with respect, you come at me with respect, and that's how it is. You disrespect me out the gate, then I'm going to disrespect you. I don't care. You're not going to threaten me with nothing. and then say, I've been watching your lives. Yeah, and if I would have got that on camera, you would have been fired from your job. Your job does not require you to stalk someone's life. So you must have knew somebody that you'd be talking to from social media that been harassing me. And if I find out she was ever connected to people, I would have took that straight to your boss. You would have lost your job. Some of these people cannot. If you know somebody from social media and you know who they are, and you're involved in any sort of any situation that has anything to do with them, it is conflict of interest. You should have never even said that. You should have never even said, I've been watching your lives. That's conflict of interest. You cannot take a case. And I'm not even threatening anyone because I'm not trying to get them fired. I'm just saying, like, they cannot take the case because they know me. That is conflict of interest. And because of that situation and them not identifying themselves literally could have got them in serious trouble. If someone says, show your badge, you're supposed to identify yourself. Even off the gate of that, they would have literally lost their job. For them not properly identifying themselves. I politely asked them, and I literally said, well, I have people online that's harassing me. She tried to be dismissive of that. You cannot be dismissive of that. And you've seen the stuff that people were saying to me on my lives. You've admitted you watched my lives. You had to have some knowledge of what the horrible things people were saying. You tried to ignore that and tried to place on me something that I did not do. You would have lost your job. You admitted that. People don't even know. They be causing themselves to lose their jobs. Yeah, well, if the sheriff shows his badge and you say, hey, can I see your badge? Then of course, and you identify that's a real sheriff, then yeah. You see what I'm saying? When someone asks you to identify for safety reasons and they're being polite, you should always identify yourself. It could have went south very badly because let's just not put us in the situation. Let's put someone else in the situation. And they say, hey, identify yourself. If that person refused to identify themselves and someone starts shooting at them and unalives them, then and they really worked for the company, why would you risk your life? All you have to do is just show someone identification. It makes things safer. I do not know what their intentions were. They could say, oh, I'm here with Adult Protective Services to interview your mom, and then take my mom somewhere and then harm her. My mom was scared. She didn't even know who she was going with. She was hurt after the whole situation because the lady got mad at her because she was hard of hearing. Literally got mad at her because she couldn't hear and it made her feel horrible. And these are the people that are supposed to care about adults being abused, and they literally treat disabled people like that? No. Literally treat my mom like trash. And you want to say that's okay. Like, that's not abuse. I'd hate to see someone in their family be hard of hearing. No way are you going to talk to someone like that, saying she got mad at me because I couldn't hear her. And I had to keep asking her, huh? And then she got frustrated. How are you going to get frustrated at someone that can't hear? They got no hearing aids. Shoot. Crazy. I had bought her some hearing aids. I don't know if that's when I bought her the hearing aids. But anyways, I was in the process of trying to buy her some hearing aids. And the hearing aids I bought broke, I think. I had just bought her some from Walmart. And I think they broke her. I don't know what happened with those. But I know her hearing aids went into storage and then she didn't have any. And she had these hearing aids that she got for $3,000, but she has to take them to the place to get them fixed, and they're in storage. So I bought her some in the meantime so she can hear. But, that ended up, something happened, and then she figured out how to charge it, and then I think they took a bag of stuff that had her medications in it and some things in it. Yeah, they stole her medication. The guy that dropped her off stole the bag of her stuff because she said when she got to the shelter, her medications and stuff were missing. Yeah, well, that's all I could afford. They were like $200 hearing aids from Walmart because that's all I could afford at the time. And because I had money from from doing the Temu ads, that's when I was getting paid for that. That's why I bought her hearing aids, because I had the money to do so. I can't afford it. Expensive hearing aids. There isn't a place that will help her, because she did get help with hearing aids, but they're in storage. Don't ask me why her hearing aids are in storage. It was a whole thing. My brother was in a hurry, and we had to pack our stuff, and we only had a U-Haul for a day because, okay, so this lady offered to have her movers move the heavy stuff for us, but we had to unload it at the storage. I got a discount because I couldn't afford the full payment. So she said, places don't do that. But I told her my situation, and she said, look, I'll work with you. They can move the heavy stuff for you guys, because me and my mom can't lift the heavy stuff down the stairs. Just me and my brother. So these guys lifted all our heavy stuff that we needed, taken all the heavy stuff. The other stuff we can put it in the U-Haul. And then moved it to the storage. And so, anyways, I had paid for her hearing aids. First of all, my mom's hearing aids was more than the Hello Kitty stuff. My mom's hearing aids was more than the Hello Kitty stuff that I bought. So what are you trying to say? Those were good pair of hearing aids, $200. I think those are damn good hearing aids. We ain't gonna do that. I made sure I got some hearing aids that were not cheap and actually worked. So let's not do that. Let's not lie, because her hearing aids and her stuff was way more than what I spent at Hello Kitty. I bought my mom way more things than what I spent at Hello Kitty. I got her some Nikes. They were like green Nikes, really nice. I got her Barbie slippers. I got her some clothes. I got her things. It was way more than what I spent at the Hello Kitty. What do you mean I spend impulsively? We didn't have no clothes. My mom had nothing. What are you talking about? She had no shoes. They took her clothes. All her clothes were bloody. Do you not? I told you this. They told me anything that has blood on my clothes, they were going to take it. They cut her shirt off. She had the shirt that I bought her, which was the Joe Cool Snoopy shirt. They cut that off of her, and she didn't have no clothes. So why are you saying I'm spending frivolously? What is my mom supposed to wear? Nothing? They couldn't find clothes that fit her. We asked. They didn't donate any clothes that could fit, so I had to buy clothes. A lot of these places don't have clothes. It depends on what they get in donations, because I asked, and they couldn't even find any clothes in my size. That's why I had to buy clothes. It's not frivolous spending if you need it. I didn't have nothing. All my clothes were gone. We lost everything in the auction. All I had was one pair of paper pants. That was it. And the 2 or 3 pants that I got at the thrift store when my family took me. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I have. First of all, I didn't go to Comic-Con last year, so I don't know why you're talking about Comic-Con. I didn't even go to Comic-Con last year. So why are you talking about Comic-Con? The last time I went to Comic-Con was with my brother and I had money saved. So what are you even talking about? I don't know why you're bringing up Comic-Con if I didn't even go last year. Wait, is it 2027 or 26? Because I know Comic-Con came up and I didn't get to go and I wanted to meet Lou Diamond Phillips. I don't know why you keep bringing up stuff that doesn't make no sense. Comic-Con, the last time I went was with my brother. I had thousands of dollars saved over. I did not spend a whole $3,000 at Comic-Con. I don't know why you keep talking about Comic-Con when I had money saved. I was trying to get an RV. At that time, I already told you we had issues with the car. So car parts are not expensive. And in order to keep a running car, because my brother had to work, I had to help pay to keep the car running. My money went to keep the car going because he needed a running car for work. How was he supposed to get to work? That's where the money went. I did not spend a full $3,000 at Comic-Con, and I got all the proof. I literally got everything on my PayPal, and I'm not even going to show you because I don't got to show you shit. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about me. I wasn't going to There's no way. How would I possibly spend $3,000 at Comic-Con? It would be if I was buying stuff. I didn't even spend that amount of money at Comic-Con. I went with a goal. I already knew everything. I budgeted, dummy. I budgeted. I literally, it tells you how much it costs for signatures and for photos. I calculated, I said, what photos do you guys want to get? So I know how to budget. I budgeted the money that I made, and I literally knew how much I had to spend at Comic-Con. There was only one unbudgeted expense that I literally got, which was a signature for my brother's friend from an actor from Fast and the Furious. He said, hey, can you get this for me? And I was like, yeah, sure. He said he would pay me back, but that was the only one that was unplanned. Or two, because I don't know if I remember budgeting the Dancing Deadpool. He said he really wanted the Dancing Deadpool, so I said, yeah, sure, whatever. But everything else was budgeted in. And mind you, the Dancing Deadpool was not that expensive, nor was Hector from Fast and the Furious. He was not expensive. And he actually gave my brother a deal. So anyways. So then, my brother used his own money to get another signature that he wanted, which was Andrew McCarthy. So I met Andrew McCarthy from Pretty in Pink and from St. Elmo's Fire. I wanted the Pretty in Pink photo, but he wanted St. Elmo's Fire. So he ended up getting this, it's a press kit. And he ended up paying to get his signature because he wanted St. Elmo's Fire, but I wanted Pretty in Pink. So we have two of the signature. But anyways, the thing being is that I did not spend any money. I did not spend $3,000. I even took into the account if we were going to eat there because they have this like jug. It's like a soda thing. You pay $50 for the day and you can refill your soda all day. Like you just get free refills for the whole day and it's $50 and it's like the tap soda. You know, like how it comes in like a barrel and it's like tap and it's soda like root beer and that. And I paid for us to get a free refill of soda because, you know, it's all day. And we didn't get it for every single day because we did like take drinks in there. I don't remember. I think, yeah, but we took drinks in there. So we brought our own like tea and stuff and we took drinks. But for the day that we didn't, I was like, you know what, I'll get us some soda. Because why not? But I did budget that in there. And the only reason why we didn't get an RV was because they wanted too much, and I know we would get one for cheaper. And then the thing was is that I was not going to spend all my money on something that, first of all, a lot of the ones that they wanted a lot of money for were fixer-uppers. I'm not buying a fixer-upper. The floor is gutted. The roof is caving in. There's no way. And the stove, nothing works. I'm not paying for something that doesn't work, especially the shower. Like, why am I going to pay for something I'm going to live in and nothing works? But anyways, because of that, that's what it was. So, yeah. I had a budget. But after Comic-Con, my brother needed things fixed, and that's where the money went, and that's why the money was gone. You know why I'm talking about the past? Because other people bring it up. That's why. Well, no, actually, you could get RVs for cheap. Trust me. If you paid $40,000 for your RV, then yeah. You guys don't know how to. You run because you try to buy something right away. You don't run and buy something right away. Do not do that. You know what is crazy? When I go to the flea market, right, my flat screen TV, it's a big flat screen TV. I said, look, I'm going to get a TV for $40. That's all my budget was. That's all I had was $40. Went, bam, found this big flat screen TV, $40. You guys got to know how to budget properly. Like, you just spent your money on a $40,000 RV. Yeah, it's probably worth that, but it's going to be worth more when you have to fix it. You're going to be putting more money than what you paid for. That's why you should always buy things cheap. And especially if it's good ones, because my brother knows. My brother's somewhat good with cars. So he could tell if an RV is not good or not. I'm not going to spend $40,000 and have to put $100,000 in maintenance fees and repairs. Like, that's going to be a money guzzler, and then you're going to end up having to sell it, because at that point, then it's going to be too expensive. When something breaks in an RV, that's a lot of money. I do know, because RV parts are very expensive. Look up a motor for an RV. Look up the parts for an RV. It's expensive. 10% battery came up, so I gotta go because I gotta get some sleep. But what I was gonna say is, you're gonna be putting more money into the car than what you paid for it. But anyways, I'm gonna have to go. Have a good day or night. You don't have to have an RV to know that an RV is expensive. You have to literally park it in an RV park because you have to hook it up. You can't just use the restroom. Yeah, those really expensive RVs, you can drive around and use the restroom because you can have like what is it? Not a radiator. It's like, a generator. You don't have to go to an RV park and hook it up. But a lot of these RVs, you have to go to an RV park, hook it up, and then get rid of your waste from your restroom. Plus, RV parks, because they don't let you park anywhere with an RV. You have to go to an RV park. And paying rent there is expensive. It's not cheap. On top of the gas that you have to put into an RV is not cheap. And then if your RV breaks down, that's not cheap. The maintenance. Anyways, I gotta go because I gotta go get some sleep. But have a good day and night where you guys are. We'll see you guys later. I need to go. Bye, guys. Good night. Stay safe. See you guys.